Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be reacting to this video I saw from Aina, and which leads me to the topic of unrealistic beauty standards that we are building and the unrealistic expectations that we are giving ourselves. So I came across this video on Instagram, so I'm going to play this video for you guys now.
I got so many
It's good, by the way.
and I got so much on the post because you guys aren't used to me showing up. That's what it's really about. And thank you everybody who continues to support me, hype me up, compliment me, all that good stuff. But you know how they say influencers only pay attention to the negative. I think that's just naturally human. So sometimes I may post something and someone may point out or comment something that I otherwise wouldn't notice. So
let me just quickly say this. The thing about people noticing negative comments and all, to be honest, is actually really normal. It's actually quite normal. It's actually not just influencers or celebrities or people who are popular. Generally, people, we notice negative comments, even if we've had like 100 likes. It is somewhat impossible not to notice. Now, whatever it is that you've chosen to do with the negative comments is basically left to you. But for you not to notice that somebody just decided to use their time and their energy to write shady things or really silly things about you is impossible. I mean, and I also know that a lot of people say things like, oh, you can ignore and all that, but these things are easier said than done. So let's.
there were a couple weeks, not a ton. Like I said, the video was maybe more positive, but there were a couple people who messaged me suggesting ways to certain parts of my body. Now, this in itself is, I guess, not problematic if I asked for those solutions, but it was just strange to me that you saw a video of me having fun, being carefree, living my best life, and your knee-jerk reaction was to suggest ways on how to even out my complexion and other parts of my body. For example, someone had pointed out my inner thigh area was darker, and it's I'm glad you noticed that, but I personally never did. I know it's a little dark around my bikini area. You guys have heard me bring this up before, how inconvenient that can be sometimes. And I just want to talk about how, sometimes it's okay to just, not see. I mean, I can't tell you how many times
mind your
I'm just
business.
living my best life, being carefree, being black, being living all of those things. And then here comes someone with a suggestion. No one asked for. No one asked. Okay, nobody asked. If I ask, that's one thing, but sometimes I'll put it to you like this. There are two things that will never be up for discussion: my hair and my complexion. Unless I ask, don't criticize my hair. Unless I ask, don't criticize my complexion. Literally, just don't do it. Because
The message I actually wanted to bring out on that video has already been said, and it has to do with the darker ties, the darker nails, the darker armpits and all that. And also going through the comment section, I was legit shocked. I mean, like, over the years I've heard like women say things like, oh, I want to lighten my armpits, but I've never really thought that it was an issue, and I've never really thought that we have people who are trying to hide certain parts of their body because they feel that it should not be outside because it is darker than the rest of their body. So let me start from here. First of all, it is completely normal for certain parts of your body to be darker than the rest, especially if you have darker skin. We have a lot of melanin. When it comes to your elbows, your knee, calf, friction, you move your hands morning every day. And when it also comes to your thighs, a lot of black women are actually not particularly that skinny, that our legs do not touch each other. If you have larger thighs, or your thighs are even slightly big, it is very, very normal, and it is not unusual at all for you to have thighs that touch each other when you walk. Friction also, sometimes when the thighs are exposed to probably the sun and all that, it might also turn up. But friction also causes for your thighs to get darker. And then when it also comes to your underneath your armpit, ingrown hair, when you have anywhere that you have that has ingrown, that has hair coming out from it, if you shave, it is bound for your armpit to get darker. Like, it's just normal. Now you can decide that there are certain things that you will do to make these things lighten up, but the truth of the matter is that they can never be as light as the rest of your body. It will always be like a shade darker or 2 shades darker, depending on how your body is and what you have done. Now, so I also feel that social media is part of the culprit as to reason why people feel this level of insecurity about things, because when you're being exposed to women looking a certain type of way on social media every single time, consciously and unconsciously you start to internalize certain things, and you start to internalize certain type of standard. When you see women on social media who do not have darker nails, darker thighs, and darker whatever it is, it begins to look to you unconsciously. You start to take that in. This, my nail cap is not supposed to be darker, my this thing is not supposed to be darker, at least this person is dark skinned and she doesn't have darker nails, she doesn't have darker nails. Little by little, even though you are saying, oh no, I'm not taking it, and unconsciously beauty standards form in our brain based on what we have visualized all through the day. And so seeing these things on social media kind of affects people and the way they think and the way they begin to see things. Now, this is one thing that you should always remember when you see pictures on social media. As someone who is a photographer, I do know that there are a lot of apps out there that you can use to turn yourself to whatever it is that you want to be. To be honest, you can edit anything off, and these days I know that editing has become really, really crazy. People will edit people and they will look like plastics, basically plastics, and it bothers me, to be honest. And I begin to see people wanting to look like plastic. When you give them pictures that look like them and what they really look like in real life, they'll tell you, oh no, why is this thing not very well edited? Why do I still have pores? You are supposed to have pores as normal human beings. The same way certain parts of your body are supposed to be darker. You cannot just be from head to toe like that. It's not possible. Even in your face, when you do makeup, you do highlight and contour, just because you don't want everything to just look the same. Things that you can just do to help things out, just to ease things a bit. First of all, if you have really, really dark knees, dark knuckles, dark elbows and all, you might want to see your doctor, because it might be an underlying medical issue. Now, away from that, also, if you are somebody who does a day job or your night job or whatever activities that you do during the day involves a lot of elbow and knee movement, probably you kneel down a lot, you use your elbow on the floor a lot or whatever and whatnot, you might have to reduce that in order to reduce the friction that your skin goes through. Now there are certain things. Now this is one thing you should also take into consideration. When it comes to your knees and your elbows, it is not hyperpigmentation. It is not hyperpigmentation, it's just excess skin. You might want to consider using lactic acid. A lot of your brightening products will not work for those parts of your body because it is not hyperpigmentation, it is not pigment, it is not melanin that is there. It is basically excess skin. So you might want to consider things like lactic acid to gently brighten it up. Now this is going to take a while. It is not something that you are going to sleep and wake up the next morning and bada boom boom boom. No, it doesn't work that way. Now another thing that people might be tempted to do, which you should not, absolutely not do, is to scrub and exfoliate and exfoliate. People, when they see, the first thing that comes to your head is physical gratification, to just put a scrub on it. That in the long term is going to make matters worse for you. So just avoid the physical exfoliant and try to opt for lactic acid. Also, when it comes to your thighs, friction, especially the fact that a lot of dark-skinned women have larger thighs, so it is bound to happen. What you might want to do for yourself is consider wearing tights, even when you're wearing skirts, so that when your laps are touching, it is really not touching each other physically. Also, you might want to make sure that that place is very well moisturized, because dry skin can also cause those rash, those roughness and bumpiness. Also, a diaper cream can also help you out and help ease the situation down there. Then when it comes to your armpit, you might want to stop the whole process of shaving and opt for things like wax and so on, just so that you can have your it removed from your ingrown hair. You're happy that Jackie actually did address this issue, because she has a really big platform, and I feel like a lot of people will have taken comfort from the video that she did, because after she did that video, I did see another video after that, and I did see some write-ups after that. So she started a conversation, and I feel like that conversation should keep going until we begin to break some certain notions and some certain preconceived ideas that we have up here about what we should look like and what perfect is supposed to be like. So thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.